Johnson, and I'm here to talk about research that we've conducted concerning muscle phasing and some of the results that we've seen. In particular, we've run two studies. The first study was with the Paralympic football team in the summer of 2008, and during that season we worked with 10 athletes during the summer, and 10 athletes were in a control group to measure in equal positions and approximately the same ages, and to see the difference of 6 weeks of muscle phasing treatments, one a week. During that period, from the beginning, we did tests from the beginning until the end. We saw improvements in hundredths of a second, about 14 hundredths of a second in terms of the 40-yard dash, and then slight improvement in the pro agility run. The control group, which did not receive treatment, actually had lesser improvement in the 40-yard dash and actually negative time, slower time in the pro agility shuffle, but not significant. But we did see significant increases in pounds in terms of the number of pounds they were able to bench. In this case, the phasing group increased by 10 pounds over 6 weeks versus about 2 to 2.5 for the control group. And then the squat in particular increased about 23 pounds, and compared to a little over 10 pounds for the squat for the control group. And there wasn't a significant difference in the clean, which is a more technical lift. If you prorate the results in terms of percentage of the 40-yard dash improved by 2.5%, the pro agility run maybe like less than 1%. But the bench and squat, significant improvements, over 6% and over 9% for the squat, which is good over a 6-week period as compared to the control group. There's not a significant difference in the clean. Why did the phasing group perform better? Well, 3 points I can make about that is one is improved posture results in better balance, as illustrated on the right. You can show the different postures and how that would affect balance, obviously. And then sports performance improves with increased range of motion or flexibility. If you're flexible, you can do more. And that's shown in the bottom line where you measure flexibility with a goniometer. This happens to be a wall goniometer. And then if you feel good, it's the first step to improving your focus and getting in the zone, or improving your sports psychology. If you measure that in terms of 14 measurements, 7 range of motion, 7 posture measurements, the 10 athletes in the phasing group all improved on average between about 1 and almost 38%, depending on which measurement, and that's significant in that there was improvements in all 14 areas, both range of motion and posture. And the second study was a shorter study, was over a couple-week period, 2-week period, where we had athletes come in for 2 treatments, and basically we measured them before and after the state tournament, if you will, and at the section times, we compared the section times and the state times, which were the 2 events that we measured. On average, we took 6 athletes, and they improved, on average, 6 seconds. And the team was actually rated 6th in the state, and they placed second, just, I guess, like 1 second out of first place. So it was a great accomplishment for that team, and even over a 2-week period, we were able to show a significant phasing. Has a proven track record. We've worked with Olympic athletes in 2008. We've also been able to work with some Stanford wrestlers in Paralympics. Both Olympic and Paralympic athletes were out at Chula Vista through the volunteer program out there. I worked out there during prior to the 2008 Olympics in Beijing. Also, we've worked with NCAA All-Americans as well as high school state champions using these phasing techniques. In particular, in the track and field, we had 4 Olympians that I worked on, and one of them did get a gold medal, Monique Henderson in the 4x100, as well as in the 2 BMX bikers, both medaled, Jill Kenter and Mike Day. In particular, Mike was, I believe, the #1 qualifier in terms of time, but was in 2nd place at the end of the actual Paralympics. We were able to work with 7 athletes, and 3 of them medaled. which is a great thing. Yeah, in terms of the results, we can see the U.S. team, 580 athletes with 110 medals, and 19% Olympic athletes. I worked on 10 Olympic athletes, 3 medal, 30%, and then Paralympic, 7 athletes with 3 medals, that's 43%. So I think there's something to say that muscle phasing did help athletes perform at a higher level at the Olympic level. Also, I'm able to work with Stanford wrestlers. My son Jake John's 4-year wrestler at Stanford and 2-time academic All-American. We had Josh Zupancic, who was All-American, and Tanner Gardner 3 times. So these were great athletes, and when they needed help, I was there to help them out at the tournaments and also at the NCAA tournament. And at high school state champions, these are athletes I worked on towards the end of their high school careers and helped them accomplish their ultimate goal was to be a state champion. So how does phasing compare by expert opinion in terms of intensity and recovery time and, invasive enough recovery time, intensity, discomfort? Obviously, surgery is going to be very invasive and there's a lot of recovery time. Things like Swedish massage and phasing, not so much in terms of invasiveness and recovery time, but a little bit more intensity and discomfort. So they're in the lower left hand versus surgery upper right hand corner. That's a good comparison. Then as you look into performance and pain relief, what I found in expert opinion is that, for example, Swedish massage is not going to increase your performance dramatically, neither help you with pain relief, but it feels good while you're getting that massage. But if you get into deep tissue, like the phasing techniques, you're going to have significantly better performance and pain relief, and I think most athletes and professional players are finding that to be the case. So anyway, that's kind of the general comparison. I've run this by some people, and this is a general feel for where phasing fits in relationship to other techniques that are typically being used in sports.